And yeah, I'm
So,
sorry that tonight there's a meeting, the committee meeting for the St. Anthony Festival that's coming
Ah,
up in a couple weeks, and I need to go and just check in on things for that. So I
we,
apologize for needing
that's all right.
to
no
attend.
problem.
And
Glad you're here.
I'll give the festival a plug. I know I got an email from Roy. You know, the link in the e-news or whatever it's called, the bridge, wasn't working. And so then he sent me the email for the volunteer coordinator. I emailed her and I never heard back. So if you want to volunteer, even if you haven't signed up, they really do need people too. So if you can. So
Yeah, but between us, we've been trying to help them kind of get together on the coordinating of volunteers. It's a very it's called a very grassroots volunteer initiative. It's sort of
That's great.
just show
well,
up and volunteer if you need, but trying to help them get their coordinate.
if
Another reason why I'm there this evening, just to help them get some
That's
things
good.
coordinated.
well, if you know you can help, if you want to email me, because he asked me to email him when I got back, so I can give him your name too, and any times you might be available. So feel free to do
Mhm.
that if you want to. Okay. So anyway, just a reminder, we are recording. Did you get that message? We are
Yes.
recording. Okay, good.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
and welcome back. I know it's been a while because last month, instead of meeting, we did the tour at SBCLT, which we will tell you about tonight, which was very good. And then we'll also give a legislation update. But first, Father is going to lead us with prayer.
Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. And God of justice and mercy, we place ourselves in your hands. Help us to be your hands and feet of justice in our world, to be the voice of those who have been silenced and not heard. Help us to see the beauty and the dignity of every human being. Guide us along our pilgrimage of faith and hope, and be a lamp unto our feet. We make this prayer through Christ our Lord.
Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I thought
Amen.
if you wouldn't mind, I'd just share very briefly before I go, just another piece of just nice news
Sure.
Sure.
that um, maybe you saw some of the new appointments of bishops, and um, one of the new auxiliary bishops for Washington, D.C. His name is Robert Boxey. Um, he's actually a friend of mine, someone I knew from seminary. Um,
Oh,
African American, I mean, not much older than me, and um, so he was prior to this, he was the chaplain at Howard University, and we actually entered seminary at the same time at Theological College in Washington, D.C. He was a little older than me, but not by much. And just to say that um, he's just one of the finest people I ever met. And so it
That's
was just
great.
so, yeah. And I remember, I mean, he's just a brilliant and kind person, went to Vanderbilt and then Harvard Law, and then, just a brilliant, but just wonderful person. And for what it's worth, I remember even way back in seminary thinking, he's going to be a bishop one day. And and uh and actually I remember thinking for what it's worth, he he, he should be a bishop one day because he's really what people need. So I was just not kind of a humble brag that he was a friend of mine, but just a fantastic person. So, and I was not surprised in the least that he um was named. So, and
That's
he's just a
great.
great
And what
voice
was his
for justice and especially for the African American community. Just for Catholics, yeah.
and what
wonderful.
was his name
Wonderful.
again, Father?
Robert Boxey,
Oxy.
Robert
Robert
Foxy.
Boxie,
IE.
Robert Boxey. Yeah. So just a great piece of news, especially for Black Catholics in the United States.
Hmm.
He's
Yeah.
just a a fine person one way or the other. But
Wonderful.
He must be because he's quite young to be a bishop.
I know. Yeah, that's the only thing that surprised me. I said it wasn't surprised that he would. I said, oh, it happened faster than I
Yeah.
thought. It must have a spot must have opened up and they probably wanted to fill it with
Well,
him rather
maybe
than with
we can speed track him to Archbishop.
maybe, but I'm sure he's got a great career. But he's just one of the just sorry, that's my little dog
Well,
next to me.
put a bug in his,
Just the
maybe he'd like to
kind and
join
humble
us some
person.
month on our Zoom.
I bet he would. I would be happy to reach out to.
Awesome. That'd be nice. Yeah, great.
Yeah. So, all
Awesome.
right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
for joining us, Father, and good luck with the festival planning
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. All right. Good
All
night.
right.
Night.
Take care. Good night.
Nice.
So now we need a bishop for Baltimore to take Archbishop Lori's place.
Did anybody hear if the Pope
Do we know?
accepted his resignation or anything?
We know he turned it in, but we don't know if it's been accepted.
Accepted?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That probably takes a while. Anyway, now before we go on, let's acknowledge the Piscataway peoples. So we are gathered on the unceded land of the Piscataway peoples. I ask that you join me in acknowledging the Piscataway community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. We acknowledge that this country was founded upon exclusions and erasures of many indigenous peoples, including those on whose land St. Vincent de Paul Church is located. This acknowledges and demonstrates a commitment to beginning the process of working to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. Excuse me. So we're going to start tonight updating you a little bit on SBCLT, South Baltimore Community Land Trust. And Dusty, if we start talking about anything of which you don't know what we're talking about, feel free to ask questions or whatever. But luckily tonight we are going to do, after Skip tells us a little exciting things, we're going to give a little update on, not an update, but kind of a history of SBCLT. And so that'll help a little, I think, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
all right, so we're going to start tonight. And then we're also going to review the legislative results. And I want to thank Jack Schmidt, particularly for working with me to identify our priorities to share with our congregation. So I truly appreciate your help, Jack.
You're
welcome.
And Skip, why don't you tell them about, I'll let you tell them.
All the fun we had together, Peggy.
Yeah.
Even the hotel that we went and toured afterwards.
Wait a minute.
So, okay.
People get the wrong idea.
No, I'll straighten it out. Last month, Peggy and I really had a good time attending the Harvest of Hope Luncheon, which is the annual celebration and South Baltimore Community Land Trust fundraiser. St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church's We Have a Dream Fund, our fund, was mentioned in the program with a special thanks for our $35,000 check that was acknowledged by the group. It was really a fun event. They had raffles, a silent auction, and all throughout the building, beautiful artwork. And it's a new building called the Baltimore Unity Hall right on Utah Place, not far, about a couple blocks down from North Avenue. So Peggy and I were privileged to be there. Donors also, we learned, could decorate a ceramic tile that will be placed on a wall honoring donors in the new Environmental Justice Building that SBCLT, the South Baltimore Community Land Trust, is renovating. And I think, Peggy, you said you would be able to show the tiles, yeah, and point out the one that was done for us.
So these were all loose. They just put them together so we could take a picture. As you can see, there's a little stack here of ones. And so Greg, I don't know if y'all remember, Greg, remember the glass pieced together thing for the candle at church that we got from,
Yes.
So that, although I was looking for that Sunday and I couldn't find it. Anyway, he actually took a yellow like marker and did all these and then did that orange sun around it to kind of
Yeah.
looks like their symbol, And then this is ours. So proud of SBCLT, St. Vincent's Racial Equity Team.
Nice,
The
good.
magic marker things were a little hard to work with, but anyway, so that's going to be kind of fun when they have a wall, and we'll be on the wall. And so these are the ones that were done that day, and I'm sure they'll get a lot more by the time you have to donate, and then you can get a tile. So
You'll
anyway,
hear a little bit more from Peggy about that Racial Justice Center that SBCLT will be a part of.
and with that perfect lead in,
Can I ask a question?
certainly.
So,
Sure.
what does somebody have to do to get invited to this fundraiser?
So I did send it to the whole group. It was called Harvest of
I
Hope,
must have missed it.
and it was April 18th.
Oh,
And I sent it out. It was actually
Saturday.
scheduled earlier. So I don't know what to tell you. And I guess you just need to read those emails I
I
sent
guess
you.
I better pay more attention. I thought I was
Well-
reading them all, but I'll try to make sure that I pay attention next year.
Well, I will tell you that sometimes I do put several things on the email. So don't just check the first one. But
Okay.
usually if there's something way down, I'll say, there's such and such down. But I don't remember what I said on this one. But anyway,
Sounds
sorry.
like it was fun though.
It was lovely event, a lovely
It
event.
was.
Um,
And the artwork was just stunning. The number of, I'm sure Maryland Institute College of Art must have been involved, but
Yeah.
the number of artists who displayed just dazzling works was really wonderful. You do have a
And
charm
my
city.
my sister had to point out, she sent me an email and she said, "Oh, I saw your picture," because I sent her the thing from Melanie. And I thought, I didn't see my picture. So we scrolled down through all the pictures at this fundraiser. Of course, Skip and I were in the food line, of course.
Favorite place.
Other people are dancing, bidding on the auction, and we're filling our plates. Anyway, it was kind of funny. All right, so let me go back to what I was going to tell you about. So I thought it would be kind of nice just to review the history a little bit, because there's been so much that they've accomplished, and I think I kind of forget how it all started and how much they have achieved in the short time. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of history again. Oh, by the way, thank you those who joined us in Curtis Bay, and I'll give you an opportunity if you want to say something after we kind of go over the history. So we went down to see South Baltimore Community Land Trust progress, but the history for new people is kind of interesting. In 2008, zip code 21226, which is where we went, registered the highest quantity of toxic air emissions in the nation.
Wow.
And in 2009, state and local officials proposed to build the largest trash burning incinerator in U.S. history, less than a mile from two schools in Curtis Bay. So the community studied it as we did, how dumping of hazard material is always in the underserved neighborhoods. And high school students from Curtis Bay and near neighborhoods began investigating how public policy and resources allowed the burning and the burying of hundreds of thousands of tons of waste in South Baltimore. So 10 years of research and action led by high schooler Carlos Sanchez. I don't know if you all remember Carlos. He was at our church when we had like about 5 people from SBCLT, and he stood up there, and I think he talked out also. So he's also a board member of SBCLT. So they resulted in successful community-led effort to prevent the construction of what would have been the largest incinerator in the United States. And they challenged companies like CSX. Remember that train derailment? That explosion, not a derailment, but the explosion on that train. I don't know if the coal.
Yeah,
So
yes, I remember.
CSX brings the coal into the coal pile in Curtis Bay, and black dust flies everywhere. And So anyway, they took them to, they've been to City Hall numerous times, and some of you have joined us there. And they actually did manage to get compensation from CSX, not enough, but they also managed that and reduce the pollution. Um, so they kind of developed a systemic approach to just transition to zero waste. And they work with Maryland Department of the Environment, and they worked with Johns Hopkins to study the effects of like asthma in the neighborhood and to see how much worse it was there than in other neighborhoods. So they identified what they believe it will take to create healthy and stable communities. So I just marvel at these high school students who took this on. Carlos, who has led this effort, he just turned 21, which
You
I
can
just think
see
that's
how,
incredible.
yeah, and they really regard him as a hero. I mean, they cheered and cheered when he got up, but he's so young, it's unbelievable he was able to exercise this kind of leadership.
And SBCLT actually came on our wavelength before we started talking about housing when through the green team. We used to go to some of the protest outside Bresco, and we went to City Hall to try to support SBCLT before we really even knew much about them.
Mhm.
And Mary Catherine had them on her wavelength before we even knew about them. And so then when we were talking about all these horrible things that happened to underserved neighborhoods, uh, it was at the time we were also doing the Black Lives Matter rallies, and we had the guy who wrote the book, The Black Butterfly, with us on a Zoom, and he kept making the point that if Black lives don't matter, Black lives can't matter if Black neighborhoods don't matter. So that's when we started searching for a neighborhood that had Black-led support that we could support, and that's when we found SBCLT. And the community organizers there with SBCLT realized that they also needed affordable housing. And so SBCLT was born to become an organization with a mission to build a community of affordable homes without displacement and with zero waste. So they got nonprofit status and began fundraising in 2018 and 2019. So just, they're new and they acquired their first properties in 2022. So anyway, they cut the ribbon on the first project in 2023 and for 8 new energy efficient housing units to sell to people in the neighborhood who earn less than 50% of the area median income. And they kept them affordable in perpetuity through community control of land. So like other land trusts, SBCLT will maintain ownership of the land under the new homes and sell the improvements to low-income buyers. When those buyers decide to move out, they'll split any equity they may have built up with the land trust, which will then sell the house to another low-income buyer. So that keeps it as they want it for affordable housing, as opposed to some of the neighborhoods where like an Under Armour or something, somebody will sweep in and take over, and then the community, they lose their housing and da da da. So anyway,
The whole gentrification process takes over. Yeah.
so that's kind of a little bit of the history. So it's really amazing what they have accomplished in the last 7 years. So especially when I think of all the time it took to move one telephone pole and $70,000 to move one telephone pole. So I truly appreciate all of their hard work that they did to develop the homes that we saw when we toured the neighborhood on May 2nd. So we went through a small duplex on Monroe Circle, and we saw the land behind it where 6 more units will be built that they own. And then we drove to the Environmental Justice Center building, where SBCLT will move their office when the renovation is complete. And this will be a building for the community also to study and work on environmental issues. It will also have a 2-bedroom rental for soon-to-be owners of one of their homes, if they're waiting for loans or some reason that they can't move in right away. And Dr. Melanie would like to turn the bar at the end of the block into a market so that they have some sort of food there. They have a new home around the corner also, similar to the four on Hazel Streets, and we just saw the outside of that. We didn't go in. But we did tour one for sale on Hazel Street, which was similar to the one that already sold. And so that's kind of just a little bit of history. And those who went with us on May 2nd, did you want to give a takeaway of what you thought?
Yeah, Mary Catherine, did you want to give us your
Joan,
impression?
Kathy, we had quite a few of you.
Yeah,
Right. I thought the house that we toured was very, very pretty and had, nice amenities in the kitchen and everything. And I was impressed by it. One was bigger than another one, but
mm,
what we did see, I thought was people would enjoy living there.
No, it was
Yep.
very impressive. They used total green construction. So they described how, the ventilation was completely self-contained and they weren't getting out any outside air pollutants into the house,
mm,
as well
Right.
as being able to, and they were providing some really nice upgraded appliances. I was impressed with that.
Right.
So I think, the goals are great and the location is a good one. Um,
Right.
I guess I'm just puzzled because it's kind of patchwork. So they're buying the land in a kind of a patchwork fashion
Well,
as it comes available, or how
yes,
does
they can only buy what's available. So on Hazel Street, you may not have seen it when the fire was, that they had a fire on that street, and a lot of them were burned out.
yeah,
So some people wanted to sell and other people didn't. They kept
right,
their places and they renovated, or they had to fix them up. So yeah, they can only buy what's for sale.
yeah. So they're buying the land.
Mhm.
I mean, they must have, do they have a trust fund going? Is that how they're
Well,
buying?
that's why they started fundraising before. I
yeah,
know they, I, I used to know all the numbers, but I don't remember now. I mean, they got a state or federal, one of the grants they got was, 250,000 from something. Catholic
yeah,
Campaign for Human Development. One year, I know they gave them 65,000. And another year, it wasn't that much. Maybe it was, I don't remember how much it was. Anyway, yeah, they have to fundraise. That's why we started the Racial Equity Fund so that we
Mhm.
could support them financially because most of us, don't want to go down there and, wield a hammer, etc. So, yes.
I'm just curious, because the land is gonna, I mean, I don't know how it compares to the rest of the city, but each of those lots has to be at least $100,000 for
That,
starters.
that I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just find that interesting.
Well, I think that's well, and as you probably don't even know this, but Melanie um, received the one of the Change Makers of the Year award for
Yeah,
Maryland.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Yes,
she definitely has been working so hard to raise money
Mhm.
so she asked if anybody would match our 35,000 that day. I don't think anybody matched it, but they
Mhm.
did. They raised, money that day, of course. But yeah, the big sums were from grants or state or
Mhm.
yes.
city
And
or
actually followed, I think, our coming on board with them. I remember when we came on board with them, the first thing she asked of us was assistance to help get health insurance for the small staff she had,
Mhm.
because that would help them to stay on. Some of them were still teenagers, but it would help them to stay on and work with her long enough to really begin to accomplish some goals. So
Mhm.
what they've done since the beginning, and we were coming in right at the beginning, is just unbelievable.
And maybe the property was undervalued because of the waste, all the environmental issues that it had that they're trying to overcome.
I
they,
think that's a good point, Jody. And also, remember Curtis Bay and the one I'm more familiar with, Cherry Hill, which is right next door. Cherry Hill was founded to be sort of a settlement for African Americans so they wouldn't get into downtown.
Mhm.
And for years, Cherry Hill, even within the Black community, when you said Cherry Hill, that was like saying, oh, you came from the, ghetto of ghettos or something. You were supposed to be super hoodlum. But uh, what has happened, anything around the water in our charm city, as you know, is, and as you were, saying,
Yep.
really growing in value. And so part of what Melanie was trying to do was to stave off all the Under Armours and all from running in and buying the land. If you stood on a hill in Cherry Hill and looked down to the water, you would know right away, oh yeah, they want this. And as a matter of fact, there's a little inlet right at the bottom of a hill I stood on about 10 or 15 years ago. There were already a couple little small boats and yachts in there. So, I mean, you could see what the ultimate plan for Cherry Hill was going to be in that Curtis Bay area.
Um, Joan, I know that was your first time and you didn't really know much about the organization. Did you want to say anything?
I was just really impressed, and I was really thankful to actually go along and see it. I was especially interested, obviously, in the health piece,
Mhm.
and I would love to actually see some of the statistics. I don't know if that's available somewhere that people
Oh,
have gathered it and written it
Carlos
up.
would, yeah,
Yeah.
they presented it at one of the hearings down in Curtis Bay. They presented a lot of the stats, and I don't remember if they were the ones from Johns Hopkins or if they were from Maryland Environmental. But oh, I'm sure Carlos would be happy to share any of that information, Joan. Maybe next time we go down, I'll see. I was hoping he'd be there that Saturday, but
That would be great. And then the building that they want to turn in, and this is what impressed me, that they want to really focus in on environmental health
mhm.
in terms of that building and what they're hoping to do. I think the other part that surprised me too is that they have great ambitions. I mean,
Yeah.
that lot behind is supposed to be an apartment building, right? For 6
Mhm.
families or something. I mean,
Yes.
that is like thinking big.
Well, and remember the one across the street that they're trying to buy that is
Yeah.
already an apartment building, but they want to,
Yes, that one too.
that one
Right.
was even bigger, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think they're doing a great job. So anybody who contributes to the Racial Equity Fund, I think you can feel good that your money was put to good use and
What's the balance of that fund now?
well, we just gave them the 35,000, so the balance now, I think it's about 8,000.
8,000. Okay.
I think I didn't send it. I didn't ask for a check for the full amount. I think it was about I think we had about 40 some in there. So
Okay.
And Peggy,
yes,
does that represent the contribution from St. Vincent's? Is St. Vincent still giving part of the money
no,
they get back? No, that's
no,
what?
that all goes to City Springs and Mother Mary Lang is my understanding.
St. Francis.
Are you
not Mother-
talking about, I mean, St. Francis, are you talking about from the education, the annuities? Oh, no, you're talking about the thing that comes back from the archdiocese?
The
Yeah.
Archbishop's annual
No,
appeal,
we're
right?
not getting any of that. This is all from private donations.
35,000 from private donations from
Yeah,
St.
that's what
V's
we gave
parishioners.
this year and the year before at we've given them, that was our third check, I think we wrote them. I can tell you the amounts. We sent 40,000 in, that was a real screw up because the check, that was in April of
I don't really
last.
care about the amounts. I was just wondering where it was coming from.
Yeah, so anyway, it was 40,000 April of last year and 40,000 in 2023.
And Peggy,
Yes,
Peggy,
Jerry.
does it have to be a check or can we do Venmo?
Ooh, I
Like
don't
if you,
know, but
you
I
know,
will
like
find out for you.
not everybody can use checks when,
Well,
they're
you can
sharing.
use a direct deposit into St. Vincent's because a lot of people do that for their offertory instead of
I
but
didn't
I
know
never
that.
heard anybody
Okay.
using Venmo, but I can I'm trying to find a clean piece of paper that I can write this note so I remember to check.
Okay.
I won't be able to check till I get back, which is
But
Fine.
they also are a 501(c) in themselves, are they not?
oh yeah,
Mhm.
So you can directly
you
contribute and
can,
just
but
note.
we like to say it's from us
I know we
because
like to take credit, but yeah,
well, no,
money.
because we want them to know we're supporting them.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And but yeah, I'll find out. Take Venmo.
Okay.
In my anti-human trafficking ministry, if somebody really wants to Venmo, I'll have them Venmo me, and then I'll write a check just in
Oh
case
yeah,
somebody can't. But
like we're gonna trust you.
well, you know what I mean. So there's probably have someone in the group too.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and Venmo me. That's a
I
good
would
idea, Jody. Thank you. Go ahead,
I would
Jerry.
take a
Just
pic.
Venmo me.
Well, we were at our bake sale and people were asking if we can Venmo. I forgot my cash. Can I Venmo you? And I said, well, you can watch me. You can Venmo me, and I'll put the cash in right now. So we're
That's
getting more and more of that. So our ministry doesn't. I went to the bank to try to set up Venmo for our ministry, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot involved in that. And anyway, so.
but Jerry, if you want to do that, Jody just gave us a solution. Just you can watch me write a check or something. All right. Thank you. Thank you those and so those who didn't get to go, maybe next time.
Oh, and the other question, how is the environment, the air now in the area? I mean, since something they didn't build the
Yeah.
incinerator, you say, and is the air, because, that smoke in the air, that's what causes things, not just asthma, it also causes
Yeah.
bladder cancer. I don't know if you all know that,
Yeah.
but
Well,
environmental smoke, not just smoking, but environmental smoke
mhm.
can cause that. And, that's really dangerous. I mean, you wouldn't believe things that environment cause people. It's just amazing. And I'm glad that, they're not building incinerators down there or whatever. And,
I mean, they still have the coal pile down there, and that's why they got CSX to try to make it a little safer. And anyway, yeah,
Yeah,
it's absolutely Jerry.
and
Hi, Betty.
then in
yeah.
our notes, also, Peggy, we were just noting that there's an opportunity on June the 11th for the Bresco incinerator hearing, and if anybody wanted to attend that. It's the Bresco incinerator permit hearing Thursday, June 11th at 6 p.m. at Curtis Bay Recreation Center.
Mm.
So let us know that. So, this is an ongoing situation.
And Kathy, were you able to go to the one that they just had?
No, no,
Okay.
I was not. I just wanted to say when I was there, I've been there several times and I just remember going up into one of those homes and the view of the harbor that you could see. I mean, it was like,
Yes,
wow, this is great.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And one of the things that impressed me, there is a really good amount of diversity in that neighborhood.
Mm.
It's not all African American. It's a large percentage, especially Cherry Hill. But I mean, you've got people who are Latino there. You've got some white people there, and you feel a sense of a community pulling together, not living together but separately, but really working together. It's quite invigorating.
Yeah, that's a good point. Betty, we're talking about South Baltimore Community Land Trust, which the group that we partner with. I just kind of ran through a history and And we had a tour on May 2nd, and had just finished discussing that. So the recording will be on the website if you want to try to catch up.
Thank
But
you.
thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Skip. Sorry.
Yeah, there was one other thing that you put in my notes, Peggy, that I think we wanted to point out, and that's that Kwesi Mfume co-sponsored the Frederick Douglass Trafficking Victims Prevention and Protection Act, and it passed the U.S. House the last 2 years, and it needs to come to the floor. So if we manage to flip the House, maybe that will happen.
So pray.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
please.
didn't know that.
So I thought we'd go over a little legislation update here. So these are the ones, as you recall. Is this big enough?
Yep, it's fine.
Yeah,
Peg,
that's good.
I just put that Brusco information in the chat, so just
Okay,
so
thank
in
you.
case
Oh,
somebody
great.
wants it.
Thanks, Jody.
She's always on top of things.
Hardly.
Always.
You should see my
Um,
place.
Yes, could we? No. So anyway, these were the bills that we actually promoted and we're trying to get passed. So the first one, oops, this isn't the top. The Senate Bill 001, which public safety, the law enforcement officers were prohibited on face coverings. That did pass. It did go to the governor, and I don't know if he signed it or if it just passed because he didn't veto it. You can't, that's the one thing I wish they would put on the website, but they always just say to governor, and then if the date passes, the last date where he could veto, they don't, there was no veto on it. I checked these a couple days after the deadline and there was no veto listed on there, so I'm assuming that it passed. Oh, and they could wear masks in certain defined limited circumstances, but not just because they have a general concern of officer safety. And then Senate Bill 323, another one we were supporting. This was for Youth Charging Reform Act, it was called. It ended the automatic charging of most minors as adults. It completely removes the ability to charge 14 and 15-year-olds as adults and requires 16 and 17-year-olds to be charged as adults only for murder, including attempted murder, first or second degree rape. Do you guys want me to read this or can you see it okay? Carjacking. Okay. Anyway, that went to the governor, and again, he didn't veto it, so that passed. This one didn't make it. The one that banned landlords from renting 6 or more, if they had 6 or more units, from evicting or refusing to renew someone's lease without good cause, and that did not make it to the governor. Senate House Bill 711. This was the Data Privacy Act, that they couldn't release information about people's information to federal immigration officers unless they had a judicial warrant. And that did go to the governor, so that was good. House Bill 360 or Senate Bill 43, the Clean Slate Act. It would have required judiciary and the Department of Public Safety to expunge all eligible records by 7/1/28, and that did not make it to the some of these I don't know if they didn't make it to the governor or they didn't even make it to the well, this one had a House and a Senate bill, so that wouldn't have been the case. Never mind. Anyway, it didn't make it.
Yeah.
House Bill 169, good cause expungement. That one did not make it either. Guess they don't want to expunge things. House Bill, this was actually Senate Bill 16, the child support earnings withholding. This bill would cap the percentage of a person's paycheck that's garnished to pay for child support at 25%. It used to be 65% if that person makes less than 250% of the federal poverty guidelines. So that was just a protection to I guess you might call it debtor's prison. If somebody couldn't pay it, you're going to throw them in jail. And how could you possibly be able to pay it if they take 65% of your paycheck? So that did go to the governor. And House Bill 115, this was the automatic voter registration for formerly incarcerated. That did go to the governor. So they do have to send a list of individuals who are released, and they're automatically restored their voter registration if they previously voted in the state. All right, House Bill 412, this was another child support one. That one did not make it, so I won't even talk about that one. And then I was following a couple other ones that we didn't have on there, but I'll tell you about them. There was a House Bill 552, which was a commission on House of Reformation. I'm going to stop sharing screen. Whoops. Trying to get to my thing to say stop sharing screen. Sorry. All right, you all can see me trying to find it. Anybody see it? Oh, wait, let me do escape. Maybe that'll work.
I'm
No.
looking at your
Oh, here, stop.
desktop though, and
I
you
was
have,
covering it, I think.
I was looking at your desktop and you have my exponent rap video on your desktop.
I do.
I haven't seen that in years.
I'll play it for you later. All right, back to business. We digressed. So there's a commission on the House of this is so appalling. The House of Reformation and Instruction for Colored Children Establishment. Now wait till you hear what this is.
This is federal or this is state?
State.
This is state.
Okay.
So
How far back it goes? Where do you hear this?
yeah. So this place was horrendous. It opened in 1873 to house Black youth, some as young as 5 years old, removed from adult jails. Took a 5-year-old from an adult jail. It acted primarily as a forced labor camp, even for minor offenses like vagrancy. So the children endured physical beatings, undernourishment, disease, and the convict leasing system. I guess that means they leased out the kids, which forced them into unpaid agriculture labor. The state took full control of the institution in 1937, following repeated grand jury condemnation of its unsanitary and dangerous conditions. So this is still going on in 1937, from 1873 to 1937. The secret cemetery, hundreds of boys who died at the facility from exhaustion, disease, and abuse were buried in 2 neglected, unmarked burial sections in the woods nearby. So this House Bill 552 established this commission for, it's called Current Reckoning. The state of Maryland is actively investigating the site, working to identify the buried children and notifying descendants. Governor Westmore and state lawmakers have recently unveiled roadside historic markers and allocated state funds to properly map, memorialize, and restore the grave sites. So our racist history keeps lifting its ugly head, and this one was so appalling. I couldn't believe it. And there was one other thing I was following. Bill Ferguson, it was a Senate Bill 791.
Wait a minute, Peggy, about the
yeah.
Reformation
Pardon me?
facility. Was that a bill? Were they seeking funding?
Yeah, it went to the House. It went to the governor. House Bill 550 established the commission for the stuff that I said, for investigating the site, working to recover and it did go to the governor.
and funded it.
Well, I assume, because I know whenever a bill's there, if it's going to cost money, it always has to go through that finance committee or whatever it is before they can send it forward. So I assume it passed all that stuff. It didn't say how much money or anything. When I looked at it, it just was telling me these horrible things. So anyway, awful. And then there
Peggy,
was,
where was it located? The
Jody, I don't
facility and the
know that it
burial.
said that. The state took full.
Okay.
Um, Jody, you want to try to Google that while I'm on
Sure.
Commission on House of Reformation and Instruction for Colored Children Establishment. Tell me if you want me to read that again.
I have it.
Just see if it mentions the location, please. And while she's doing that, there was another one that Bill Ferguson, he actually applied. It was called the Community Trust Act, and it prohibited ICE cooperation when an individual is not convicted of a crime. So in other words, the police or whoever, they don't have to work with ICE if these people have not been convicted of a crime, which kind of makes so much sense, because isn't that what President Trump said all along, that we're going after the criminals that are running wild in our country? Anyway, so that is Senate Bill 791, and it was the Community Trust Act, and it did go to the governor. So that was good. Did it say, Jody, where it was?
So it says Reformation instruction for contract, including by contracting with qualified. I think this is what hold on. There's quite a few. I'm not sure which one to open.
It's raining again here.
Doesn't say the state of Massachusetts. This is the whole legal stuff. Whereas recent reports and historical records, blah blah. So, but you want to know where the cemetery is?
No, where the establishment was, this
I
house.
was just, yeah, I was just curious about both the establishment because the cemetery, didn't you say it was like on the grounds? And I was just wondering where it's
Yeah.
located. Just,
Yeah, I mean,
I
this
don't know if
says
it makes any difference, but it's called
to-
the secret cemetery, so maybe
this says
nobody
to account
knows.
for every child buried in unmarked
It
graves.
was in Prince George's County, Cheltenham,
Thank
Maryland.
you. Thank you,
okay,
Audrey.
thank
Next
you.
time I need some research, I'll
Yeah.
ask the local.
Skip your sister, right?
Thank you, Audrey.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyway, our racist history is still, well, of course, we see it every day now. The racist stuff keeps, we just can't stop working on this stuff because it's unbelievable. And now Jody's going to tell us a little bit, now that I've depressed everyone, Jody's going to tell us a little bit about an uplifting program, and we can give you more information about it next time we meet. Oh, by the way, we won't be meeting in June because we'll be gone. But in July, we usually skip July because of vacation. So this year, I think we'll skip June, and then we'll be back with you on the third Wednesday in July. So we can give you more information on this then. But Jody, take it away.
During our January meeting, we had 3 guest speakers. One was Skip's son, Justin, who works out of the Mayor's Office of Employment Development in the Youth Opportunity Center. And I know some of you were at this meeting when Justin was on. He was awesome. The director of that center also joined us. And we wanted to share a little bit more about Justin's new initiative and the results he's getting. He works with many young adults formerly incarcerated to improve their reading skills. It's a pay to read and report program. Justin can assess their comprehension to ensure they read the book, and they get a little spending money. So Peggy had suggested that getting Donna Danos involved since she supplies books to City Springs. And Donna continues to pour books into Justin's library, and Justin said they're flying off the shelves. So that's awesome. So we'd really like to invite Justin to come to our next meeting and to let us know what his progress is, and to share some stories, to personalize it, because this is so much right up our alley, and it takes the education piece also that we had talked about in the beginning, um, and anyway, so we would love to have him at our next meeting. And certainly people can donate to his ministry. I don't have that address, but I guess Peggy or Skip can put it into at the next email that goes out or something.
Yeah,
well,
actually, what happened, uh, we were going to get that information from Justin for this meeting, but one of his students committed suicide last week, and it
Oh,
has just torn that center apart. He said the boss has not even come to work one day this week because he's so upset. And because it was a student of Justin's, Justin is really distraught as well. So we said, well, when you get a chance, if you give Peggy or me the information, we'll just pass it on to the group. But on the positive side of all of that, he's got so many wonderful anecdotes to tell you about things, including a janitor who came in and grabbed a book. And Justin said it's one of these things about some kind of theory that this man was always telling him about. And the book that Justin gave him to get a little peace just sparked the man up even more, because he said, this book tells exactly what I'm talking. And he said, and every day he's coming in now with this theory from this book and talking about it.
oh, that's awesome. Please tell Justin how sorry we are.
We will. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to hear some of his stories. That would be
Oh,
great.
some of them will have you laughing.
Yeah,
And Donna, we can't thank Donna enough.
yeah,
She
that was
really
awesome.
jumped in with both feet.
y'all may not know that, but she supplies like hundreds of books to City Springs School, enough that each student can get a book.
Mm.
So anyway,
Oh, and then one other part of the program they started, if you like the book you've read well enough, in many cases you can keep it if you really liked it. And a friend of mine who used to be an associate superintendent in Montgomery County, and whose career began in Baltimore County, um, just was talking with me, and she told me that she is selling her home down on the Eastern Shore where her family lives. And she said, I've got too much stuff. I'm not taking it all with me. She said, so I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do with my special library that I keep down here where I have all my favorite authors. I said, I know what you can do.
Yeah.
And so I told her, and when Justin learned the books that she was going to give him, like by famous Black authors and poets and everything, he said, tell her that I'm going to name one wall in the room the Bronda Mills reading section.
Nice.
That's where her library will be housed, and they won't be given away. They can borrow it, but they have to bring it back.
That's nice. And
Mm.
we sort of jumped over the end of the legislation, but just Jack, thank you so much for so much research, and we really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
That's not easy.
Skip,
So, thank you, Sister Jody, and thank all of you for your presence and your passion and your support. When I look back and think that we're going into our sixth year, is it, Peggy?
2020 September.
I mean, how about that? And it doesn't feel like that at all, but what staying power. So you're a very, very special part of our special church family. Liz, would you like to lead us in a closing prayer?
Yeah, and I used partially a quote from Dr. King to kind of amplify this.
Mm.
Dear Father God, we come to you encouraged by words from your son, Martin. We are called to play the Good Samaritan on life's side road,
but that will be only an initial act. We must come to see that the whole Jericho road must be transformed so that men and women will not be constantly beaten and robbed as they make their journey on life's highway. True compassion is more than flinging a coin to a beggar. It is not haphazard and not superficial. Dear Lord, the time for us to transform Jericho Road is here and now in Baltimore. You graced us with the South Baltimore Community Land Trust and the foresight and true compassion of their creative people. Give us the grace, please, to keep supporting them and to keep supporting all our brothers and sisters who work for the kingdom in this city. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 What a
Thank you,
beautiful
Liz.
prayer.
Thank you.
Liz,
Yeah,
it's just
beautiful.
beautiful.
And I want to note that we are finishing in an hour. It's like the first time ever,
A
I think.
miracle.
So it is a
Yeah.
miracle. So we
Hey.
know who the talkers were, I guess. They're not here.
You want to take off the recording, Peg?
Yeah, this is a nice
No, you can leave it on.
conversation.
I like the hearts.
That's
I know, that's
beautiful,
cute.
Oh,
Anne.
look at that. Yeah. Jerry does the
Oh,
hearts
I
all the
love
time.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very nice. Well, thank you all for coming. And Betty, if you want, I can actually send you a written information of what the history of SBCLT if you think that would help.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
All
you.
right. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will see you when I see you.
Have a
All
great
right.
June.
All right.
Where are
Have a
you
great
guys
June.
going?
We'll see you in July.
I'm
Wow.
going
Okay.
to California for graduation. A
Oh,
guy
yeah.
getting his master's in math.
Woo!
Oh,
I can't even imagine because fire math. Ugh.
Oh, my.
Anyway,
Hey, Meyer, shame on you.
anyway. All right. See you all.
Okay,
Thanks
thank you
again.
so
Bye-bye.
much.
All right.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Namaste.
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 Peace.
Now I'm trying to find the recording off button.
Ah, I'll tell you when it disappears on here.
Jack, you're on mute. Are you trying to talk to
Yeah.
us? I
No,
see
I'm
your
trying to
We hear
get
you
you.
now.